Well, here we are with the Milwaukee Brewers once again. You know, things going in the right direction. 3-game winning streak against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Right back to being 3 hit on a Monday against the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll talk about that. What's going on with Wily Adames? And a little game of who's in and who's out with the Milwaukee Brewers. All that more coming up next here on this edition of Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And great to have you along here on a beautiful, beautiful night as I'm recording this on a Monday night in Wisconsin. Now, we don't get many nights like this in Wisconsin, and the fans who turned out at AmFam Field, what can I say? You paid some good money probably to get into the ballpark, and before you sat down, team was down 6-0. Lost 9-1 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Talk about that. Wily Adames, Mendoza line. He was below the Mendoza line at one point tonight. Got a base hit to get back over the 200 mark. That and a little game of who's in and who's out. Who on the Milwaukee Brewers are you just completely done with? Put it also, we'll take your tweets as well. I put out a tweet also earlier tonight when the Brewers are down 4-0 in that first inning, soon to be 6-0. Are they going to mail it in, or are they going to, show some pride tonight and rally and, at least give Burnes some offensive support and show him that, we appreciate how good of a pitcher you are, even though when you're not pitching like you should be. We'll get to that coming up in a little bit. My name's Chuck Freeman, first-year host, Locked On Brewers. Thank you for joining us on Locked On Brewers. Get us on Spotify, Google, Apple, on any of your podcast downloads. I'm going to check, make sure I have the audio, and everything is going through. I'm going to check my headset right there. Might do that a couple of times during the show today because I'm having some audio issues. I don't know what that is about, but I don't want to have those issues. And nothing that was distributed to the fans out there, but where I had to re-record something. But you get us on the various platforms, Google, Spotify, Apple. We're here every day. You're everydayer on Locked On Brewers. Get us on YouTube. Follow us along. Hit the subscribe button. Search Locked On Brewers. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode here on Locked On Brewers. And we like to think we're here every day, talking Brewer baseball with you, our favorite Brewer team. Not my favorite Brewer team, this year's team, because I'm flustered. I'm glad they're in contention in a bad division, but they go out and they take 3 in a row from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Oh, and by the way, I'm the morning sports anchor at 1310 WIBA Madison, longtime sports talk show in Milwaukee. Now that we're friends again. 3-game winning streak over the Pirates this weekend. Pitched great. Timely hitting, rallied to win the game on Sunday, and thinking, okay, Arizona Diamondbacks coming to town. Arizona Diamondbacks, who lead the NL West, just got thumped by 9 runs against Cleveland on Sunday at home, and they're starting a 10-game road trip. And their manager, after the game tonight against the Brewers, said, I was just curious to see how our team was going to respond after losing and handily getting booed off the field in Arizona, how we were going to respond tonight against a good pitcher. And respond they did. They put up 6 runs in the first inning against Corbin Burnes. He gave up 7. That was the worst outing of his career. Giving up 7 runs, just a bad outing. That's a career high. Yeah, he is better than that. But he gave up 6 runs in the first inning. And the fans did boo him tonight. And I'll say this. Whatever Brewer fan does, okay, legally, whatever Brewer fan does and expresses his displeasure legally by booing, okay, not by calling names or swearing. I'm not saying that. You want to swear in private, that's fine. Okay. Or on the golf course like I do. But if you, whatever this enchantment you have with the Brewers, I get it. Because I'm like you, going through 54 years of this, and I get tired of it too. Just when I think my team is always going to turn the corner, like they did this weekend. I said, even after the show yesterday, I said, let's kind of temper enthusiasm with the Pittsburgh Pirates 3-game sweep. Sure enough, they came right back and kicked us in the stomach by Burnes dropping 6 in the first inning in a 9-1 loss to Arizona. So whatever fans are booing, yes. That guy who his kids are on summer vacation, they've been asking him to take him to a Brewer game. Take us to a Brewer game, Dad. Take us to a Brewer game. This guy, Steve has probably been working 11, 12 hours, been up at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Monday, coming off Father's Day. All right. And, his one great day and his one pride and joy after working 12 hours all day, doing whatever job he's doing, probably a job he can't stand, driving a car he doesn't like, that he's got to take in a few times a year to get fixed and use half his paycheck. So this guy who works 12 hours a day, all right, he's coming home and he wants to watch his favorite baseball team play. His one joy every night is to turn on his favorite soap opera, the Milwaukee Brewers, on Bally Sports Wisconsin, unless he's got to pay for it on Apple TV. But Bally Sports Wisconsin is never on network TV. We know that. They're never going to be on Sunday Night Baseball. But he's watching. He knows they're going to have Bally Sports. That's his one thing. Okay, he's coming home. He's going to watch the pregame show with Craig and Vinny Rottino and company, and he's going to get a good start. Okay, and then he's going to settle in with Levering and BA and Rock and Tim and whoever's in the broadcast booth. All right, that's his one joy, to sit down after a hard day's work, have himself a nice meal, okay, and watch the Brewers, okay, because he's been working all day. So he decides to take his kids to the game and enjoy a night at the ballpark. And he sits down, he pays $100 a ticket. Well, let's say $40 a ticket. So he's in $160 for 4 tickets for him and his wife, and 2 kids or a significant other, okay, and 2 kids. So he sits down, and before he's able to unwrap his hot dogs, his team is down 6-0. My all-star pitcher's on the hill, and I came to watch him tonight, and we're down 6-0, and we haven't even bat it yet. And I get it if that guy wants to boo and express his displeasure because he's already down 160. Okay. He's going to have to buy his kids some food. His wife has been asking for a $14 Vizzy. So he's going to buy her one of those. All right. So it's a few $100s a night for a guy who's just been waiting all day to come see his favorite team that they just swept the Pittsburgh Pirates. So if that guy wants to boo, and there's many guys out there like that who've been suffering for 54 years with this franchise, I get it. I get it. Okay? Totally. I'm with you. Brewers got 1 run tonight, an RBI triple by Christian Yelich in the 3rd inning. But Corbin Burnes was not good. They ambushed him. Arizona ambushed him. They came out first ball hitting in the 1st inning in like 9 or 10 pitches into it. They had a couple of runs on the board. Their mode was to come out and just ambush him. That's what it's called in baseball. Come out and unload on that first pitch. And they did. They were first ball swinging. They were looking to attack. They had a game plan. Torey Lovello and whoever the hitting coach is on the Arizona Diamondbacks these days had a great game plan, and they attacked Burnes for 6 runs. And the Brewers said, I give up. We cannot counter that at all. We are not going to score 6 runs, maybe this entire series. So 3 double play balls later, an RBI triple by Yelich, 9-1, they lose. The bright spot in this game, Corbin Burnes, no. Adrian Hauser, yes. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits. He saved the bullpen. He saved Craig Counsell from exhausting his bullpen on a night that his team did not come to play. Against a team that is leading the National League West, Arizona. Corbin Carroll homered. Rookie of the Year candidate. If you're watching this guy play for Arizona, that guy's a Rookie of the Year candidate, may even be an MVP candidate, the way he's just coming out and mashing pitches. He's got like 16 homers on the year. So the Brewers lose. Adrian Hauser saves the bullpen. That is the best thing that came out of this game tonight. But there are some guys who are struggling, as we know. And one of them is Wily Adames, who wants to get paid. And at one point, he was batting 198 on Monday night. We'll get to him. We'll get to your tweets. And a little game of who's in and who's out. And we'll look ahead to Tuesday's matchup. A lot to come yet here on Locked On Brewers and the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Thank you, everybody, all you everydayers out there for joining us on Locked On Brewers. I'm your host, Chuck Freeman. Good to have you along. Follow me on Twitter, Chuck Freeman, FREIMUND. Our various platforms, Google, Spotify. We're on all those sites. YouTube, Locked On Brewers. Tonight's show sponsored by Gametime. Gametime, you want tickets. I hope that guy who worked that 12-hour shift just to go down and watch his favorite baseball team give up 6 runs in the first inning, I hope he used Gametime and got some cheap tickets, because flash deals and last-minute tickets are their deal at Gametime. I've done it myself. Images of seat views. Forget planning months in advance. Gametime has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, baseball, basketball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. It's all right there on your Gametime app. Get images of a seat before you buy it. You'll know exactly where you're sitting. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds. 2 taps and you're all set. Tickets are sent directly to your phone. You'll never have to dig through your email. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKDOWNMLB, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account, redeem the code LOCKDOWNMLB, $20 off your first purchase. Download the Gametime app. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, we'll get to Adames, your tweets, who's in and who's out. Look ahead to Tuesday's matchup. All that coming up next here on Locked On Brewers. Welcome back to Locked On Brewers. Chuck Freeman, your host. Good to have you along here. Thanks for following us along. And if you want to, wherever you are, you can get the Brewers hometown broadcast on Sirius XM, the SXM app. Search Brewers, and you'll find the Brewers hometown broadcast. Brewers and Arizona Diamondbacks, 7:10 on Tuesday night from AmFam Field. It's going to be another beautiful night to be out there. But if you can't be there, catch the game. Sirius XM on the SXM app. Search Brewers 7:10 with that first pitch. So what's going on with Wily Adames? He wants to get paid. At one point, you looked up on the scoreboard and you saw Wily Adames batting 198 tonight. He got a base hit and he's up to 202. Willie wants to get paid. The Brewers are not looking like they're going to do this deal with Adames. They're not even talking to him. But if Adames wants 20, 25 million, 198 is not going to do it. Okay? Defensively has not been great. And I know some of those analytic numbers can't be that good either for Wily Adames. But right now, the Brewers are making a good decision and not offering him an extended long-time contract. When he came here in 2021, he was a big part of the reason why they went to the postseason and won the NL Central that year. It was Wily Adames. But he's not having a very good year. Okay? And, yeah, not worth 20, 25, 15, or $10 million at this point. Wily Adames is probably costing him some money right now. Maybe there's some pressure there. You wouldn't think Willie doesn't act like a guy who has a lot of pressure or has problems coping with pressure, because he's an easygoing guy. He's definitely a leader on this team and is very loose and keeps the team loose. Okay. But Adames, he's come back from that smack he took on the head sitting in the dugout. God bless him. He came back. Thank God. That wasn't worse than when it probably should have been, where he got hit. Okay. But Adames is batting he's batting 201 now. I was hoping he's going to come back, but he's not coming back hitting, but he's coming back and he's been not hitting. He's been worse than he was. And that average is slowly plummeting for Wily Adames. I'm not done with Willie. Do I want to give him $25 million? Absolutely not. Willie's got to be an important part of this team. This team is going to contend. It's one thing for Jesse Winker to hit 198, but Willie can't be hitting 198. A heart and soul guy of this team. Brewers did drop out of first place. Cincinnati was won 9 in a row. Ooh, the Reds. Watch out for the Reds. The Brewers just take 3 or 4 for the Reds recently. Yeah, I'm not too worried. But the Brewers, it'd be nice to see them go on a 9-game winning streak once in a while. Wouldn't that be nice? I think the most we could do is 3. And it's back to being 3 hit again. 3 hit by Merrill Kelly, who's a pretty good pitcher. He's got 9 wins. That's like tops in the National League. And making a bid to make the All-Star team. But, God, it's just too many times this year they've been down that road. 2 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits. You know, making some pitchers, getting them All-Star consideration. Many guys, the Brewers have done that too. But they got to take game 2 of the series. Colin Ray is pitching. I feel like he's pitching every third day these days. I feel like every time I'm doing a show, we're talking about Colin Ray or Freddie Peralta pitching. Corbin Burnes took the loss, and he'll be okay. 7 runs. And the Brewers fans booed him. He's going to be okay. He's going to be just fine. And Brewer fan who's distributing his displeasure, I have no problem with that because that's what, you got every right. You're going out, you're supporting your favorite team. You can do whatever you can. That is legally. Game was not on, I went out, we were going to go out golf league early, got to the bar that we wanted to watch the game at tonight in a place about 40 miles north of Milwaukee. After our golf league, Shannon and I didn't golf all that good, but we wanted to go to this place. They had 2-for-1 burgers, sandwiches, and did not have the Brewer game on TV. And you believe that? They had Wake Forest on the College World Series on. I mean, yeah, we all love the Demon Deacons, but we love the Brewers more. And, I'm okay with not seeing the Demon Deacons in favor of watching my favorite baseball team, the Milwaukee Brewers. How do you not have the Brewers on? 3 TV sets in this place, in the bar area. Nice place. Good food. Put the Brewer game on. I don't get it. There'll be cities dying to have the Brewers. States dying to have the Brewers. I just find that baffling. You did a segment down a couple of months ago. How do you not have the Brewers on? I had to take a drink there. All right. So that was my night. I had to flush down our hamburgers after that 6-run first inning and then head back and watch the Brewers game. I had to put the Brewer game on a little TV set on my phone in the sport. Oh, yeah. I mean, you go to a restaurant and it's got a couple of TVs on and you got your phone on watching the Brewer game. You got to do that. Come on. It wasn't like I was watching General Hospital. I'm trying to watch the Brewers. Okay. All right. We're going to your tweets coming up next. Who's in and who's out. And we'll preview Thursday's game. That's coming up next here on Locked On Brewers. Welcome back to Locked On Brewers. I'm your host, Chuck Freeman. Just checking the audio with the headset here. All seems to be good. Having some audio issues tonight, but nothing that was distributed out on the network. Fans out there are not happy. I put out there on Twitter, Brewers down 4-0. This is when it became 6-0, but it was 4-0. Your Milwaukee Brewers, are they going to come back and give Burnesy a little support here? Justin writes, wasn't Burnes supposed to be good? He certainly was. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been great. That's Chuck. That's not our tweeter here. Greg says, Burnes getting beat up. The Brewers will score some garbage runs in later innings with the game already over. Well, he scored one run in the third inning. He didn't score anymore. You kind of gave the Brewers more credit than they should have been given because they didn't score after the third inning. Dan says, I thought the Brewers were off today. And I was right. They did take the day off. Are you ready for sticks? Says, mail it in, everybody. Greg says, nope, it's already in the mail. Beer Cheese Benny says, mail it in. David K says, nope, it's already in the mailbox, says CJ. Tim says, WTF. Come on, Chucky Free. They're going to mail this in. Bandana Guy says 6 runs on Monday. Not happening. This team is not good. I'll paraphrase there. Bradley says it was over at 4-0. Chroma says game set. Michael Martin says stick a fork in them. The Brewers are done. Dave says game over, man. Game over. Sports Nut says they're done. They'll lose 11-2. Tyler says, aside from Yelich, they're nothing but a bunch of free swinging hackers who couldn't hit A-ball scrubs. Now you're going a little more far on that one. But I get the direction you're going in. Wisconsin Family says, I do not think the Brewer office is capable of coming back from this deficit. Revolt says, I've had it. I'm mailing it in for the night. William says, I think you already know the answer. Scott Kelly says in response to my tweet, mail it in. Don't you cover this team? In other words, shouldn't I know better? Yes, I should know better on the Milwaukee Brewers. I should. Who's in and who's out? I'm going to list a couple of guys who've been kind of getting under the skin of some of you out there. Christian Yelich is up to 272. I saw somewhere on Twitter today somebody making a case for Christian Yelich for the All-Star game. Please. Guy's on a nice stretch for the last 2 weeks. But the Freeman Ice test and most of Brewer fan eye test says, no, he's not an all-star. You pull 100% of the Brewer fans out there who watch this show, Christian Yelich an all-star? Come on. That is a stretch. Christian Yelich, an all-star? Well, Corbin Burnes not an all-star either. Christian Yelich, 272. I still want to keep him. Jesse Winker is on life support with me, down to 197. Wily Adames, I thought I heard somebody sneaking behind me. Wily Adames, with a late base hit, he's up to 202. Turns out that was a fan blowing some paper. Owen Miller, his OPS for the month of June is 472. I knew Owen wasn't going to keep at that pace batting 350. Owen down to 285. Owen's a nice player, but he's been playing a lot because he's one of the few hot bats, but he's cooling off. We thought he'd come back down to life a little bit. He's really cooling off. Rowdy Tellez. Rowdy to me is a platoon player. On a bad baseball team, he's an everyday first baseman. On a team that I want to win a championship, guy off the bench for me. I've said that all the time, even when he was banging 35 out last year. Brian Anderson down to 228. Had a hit tonight. You play a corner spot or a third base spot. If you're hitting 228, you better have 23 home runs at this point. That's 20. Okay. But hitting early in the year, numbers are dropping. Got on base a couple of times with walks tonight. But my right fielder's got to be better than that. He played third base tonight. Joey Weimer, 0 for 3. I'm cutting him a ton of slack because he's a rookie. Veterans, I don't give as much slack to. Joey Weimer's still good defensively. You got to keep running him out there. Gus Fralick, I know, is on the mend. Are they going to give him a shot here in the next month or two? If they don't make any trades? Could be. Guys, the Brewers played a bad game on Monday night. We've been down that road before. Corbin Burnes, gave up 7 runs, a career best. They couldn't solve Merrill Kelly, the starting pitcher for Arizona. And it was a frustrating night and a wasted a bunch of people's times. And they've done that a few times this year. They've wasted their times. But you know what? We're all going to be back in front of the set on Tuesday night, 7:05. Maybe listening on Sirius XM or the XSM app. Search Brewers and Diamondbacks game 2, getting behind Colin Ray. They've fallen behind the Reds now in the division. The Reds have won 9 in a row. The Brewers are better than the Reds, I'd like to think. I like to think they are. And I'd like to think they're the best team in this division. Although here come the St. Louis Cardinals. They went through their funk. Now they're on a roll again. They came back and beat Washington today. Go get them on Tuesday, everybody. I'm Chuck Freeman on Locked On Brewers. On the Locked On Podcast Network, we are your team every day. So long, everybody. We're here after the game tomorrow night against Arizona with a recap and breaking down the game, and hopefully the Brewers bounce back.